So this morning I thought we would work with a couple of different meditations. One working with new beginnings, and another one working with loving kindness. But before we go into that, let's start with a quick check-in. So starting by finding your comfortable sitting position. If you're cross-legged, maybe having something under the sit bones to lift the hips and lengthen the spine. Or if you're sitting on a chair, having the legs uncrossed, soles of both feet in contact with the ground. And we can start by rolling the shoulders back and down a couple of times, or easing the head out from side to side, stretching, yawning. Anything you need to do before coming to stillness. Closing the eyes and settling into stillness. And with this settling into stillness, see if there can be a sense of putting everything down. All the busyness, all the preoccupations of the day so far. Putting it all down. And seeing if there can be some sense of respite in this sitting posture. And as we breathe, we can draw breath all the way down into the depths of the belly. And as we exhale, imagining that breath floating back up and out through the crown of the head. And there's no need to try too hard with the visualization here. Just allowing that inhalation to go all the way into the depths of the belly. And allowing the exhalation to float easily and effortlessly up and out through the crown of the head. And as we do this, we can check in with the muscles in the face. Can there be a sense of easiness around the jaw, around the eyes and forehead? A sense of release around the shoulders and in the tummy. And as we cultivate this sense of ease of being, I'd like to read something to you from Oriah Mountain Dreamer's book, The Invitation. So she says, "When I imagine myself as an old woman at the end of my life and ask myself how I will evaluate my time here, there is only one question that concerns me. Did I love well? There are 1,000 ways to love other people and the world, with our touch, our words, our silences, our work, our presence. I want to love well. This is my hunger. I want to make love to the world by the way I live in it, by the way I am with myself and others every day. So I seek to increase my ability to be with the truth in each moment, to be with what I know, the sweet and the bitter. I want to stay aware of the vastness of what I do not know. This is what brings me to the journey. I do not want to live any other way." And sometimes I allow myself to imagine that each moment in which we love well by simply being all of who we are and being fully present allows us to give back something essential to the sacred mystery that sustains all life. So sitting with all that is moving through you at the moment, we'll cast our attention to the physical form first of all. Gently scan your awareness through the physical body. Notice how it feels. Any areas of sensation. Maybe a pressure beneath the sit bones. Maybe a tingling in the hands. Maybe a sense of the heart beating. Maybe parts that feel achy or stiff. And without attaching to or identifying with any of the reasons why the body might feel the way it does, allowing awareness to be light and easy, to simply take in each form of sensation as the rise and fall of energy, manifesting in different ways. Using that neutral inner dialogue. So instead of my knee, the knee. Instead of hurts, we can say sensation. And you might find that as you pay attention to the physical form, small adjustments start to occur. Maybe you find that you become conscious of the relationship between the shoulders and the hips, or the ears drawing back over the shoulders. Maybe you become aware of the openness or otherwise of the chest. Maybe you notice certain areas that have been grasping or holding tension without you realizing. And just by noticing that, the body softens and releases. So we do ourselves the great honor of simply paying attention. From here, bringing awareness up into the heart center, that energetic space right in the center of the chest. Anchor your awareness here. See if you can feel this area just by the power of your attention. No need to worry too much about any sensation that might be there, or indeed not there. If there's a sense of numbness or inaccessibility, noting that. And then diving in a bit deeper to the realm of emotion. What's the quality of the emotional landscape like at the moment? Maybe awareness is distracted, maybe it's hovering somewhere else. So if you can draw it in to the emotional body, keep asking. What's the emotional landscape like at the moment? And you may find words, colors, sound, rhythm, image. There may be several, perhaps seemingly contradictory emotional fluctuations, some more obvious in the foreground, some a bit quieter, lingering in the background. And seeing if we can allow awareness to hold all emotional states equally, without preference. Creating what we can think of as a holding environment for things to simply be as they are within the safe container of our gentle awareness. And again, using that neutral language. So rather than I feel tired, angry, excited, distracted, whatever it is, we can say there is joy, there is anxiety, there is peace, there is frustration, or whatever else might be present at the moment. From here, bringing awareness up into the mind space, we can imagine this physically somewhere behind the third eye, between the center of the eyebrows, in the vast cavern of the realm of thought. Noticing how this area feels physically. And then diving into the realm of thought. What kind of quality does that inner landscape have at the moment? Are the thoughts exhausting, repetitious, banal, frantic, scattered, peaceful? And you might get a sense of particular animals that represent the energy of those thoughts, or color, or rhythm. So, staying attentive to the ways in which our being can reveal information. Sometimes it's more subtle than direct language. And imagining two layers of being. So, on one layer, we have the sensations in the physical body, the transitory emotional states, and the motion of the thoughts. And these things bubble up and fire around. They carry with them their own stories and compelling narratives. But one step behind, there is a more quiet, easy space. And this is the space of neutral observation. of watching the breath rise and fall, of creating a holding environment so that whatever plays out in the physical, the emotional, and the psychological forms, there's space for it to unfold without jumping in with judgment or evaluation. So we might perhaps imagine the breath is linking those three forms. From the depths of the belly, representing the physical, up into the heart space, representing the emotional, up into the mind space, representing the psychological, and flowing down the back of the body, easing back down into the earth again. So we have perhaps a felt sense of what we're working with today, how the different elements are coming together. And with this as our background, I'd like you now to turn your mind to consider a new beginning. I'd like you to imagine one thing that you would like to begin that isn't currently part of your life. So it may be meditating daily or exercising, doing something creative, starting a new class, or simply being more patient with those you love. Take a moment to choose one thing that you would love to begin that isn't currently part of your life. And now I'd like you to imagine, in a perfect world, how would you ideally feel in order to begin that? What kind of qualities would you have physically, mentally, emotionally? In an ideal world, how would you feel as you began that activity? And imagine yourself beginning it in that way, with all the perfect resources at your disposal, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Now I'd like you to take a moment to tune into how you feel right now, physically, emotionally, mentally, and notice if there's any gap between the two. So without bringing in judgment or criticism, observing if there's any difference between how you would ideally like to feel to start that activity and how you actually feel right now. Now I'd like you to imagine beginning that activity, but from here, exactly as you are, exactly as you feel, physically, emotionally, mentally. Perhaps a little more tired, more distracted, less energetic or calm, less joyful, perhaps. But imagine yourself starting it anyway, with the resources you have available now. Perhaps you don't start it quite so perfectly. Perhaps it's not quite so neat. But imagine yourself doing it anyway. Give yourself permission to feel exactly as you feel now. And give yourself permission to begin from here. So letting go now of that image or idea and coming back into the physical body once again. The weight of the sit bones connecting with the surface below. The length of the spine. A column of light that moves through the body. The way the head balances lightly on top of the spine. And the rise and fall of the breath as it enters and leaves the body. And with the next deep breath, we can lower the chin to the chest and blink the eyes open. Okay, take a moment to stretch or move anything that needs to be stretched or moved. How did you find it to Okay, so preparing to move into loving kindness from here. Starting as always with the position of the body. Take your time to find that comfortable sitting position. If you need to make any adjustments from the previous meditation, you can do so. Sometimes it's nice to have a folded blanket or jumper in the lap so that as you sit with your hands resting in the lap, there's something a bit higher for them to rest on. That might help ease the shoulders if they're feeling tight. And again, as we breathe, turning the awareness in. Seeing if there are any parts of the body that are grasping or holding tension that can soften. And finding that balance between theta and sukha, warm and emptiness. So observing the form of the body, how we use the muscles around the spine to stay upright, to help the shoulders stay back and down and the chest open. How the angle of the pelvis can support that. So a certain amount of work that goes into the sitting posture. And then observing any elements of spaciousness. There can be a sense of vastness in the belly and in the chest. Easy openness. Maybe a sense of spaciousness in the mouth. Jaw relaxed, roof of the mouth high. Spaciousness in the palms of the hands. And bringing into awareness now the sense of a giant golden sun overhead. And the warmth of the sun's rays shining down on you. With each breath, drawing that warmth in, all the way down through the crown of the head and into the heart center. With each breath, drawing in the warmth and light of the sun and allowing it to fill your entire body, your entire being. And paying particular awareness to the heart space. Placing full awareness in the center of the heart. And imagining a small light there that grows and glows, bigger and brighter with each breath. As we draw in the warmth of the sun, it feeds that light in the heart center. And see if there can be a gentle smile around the face as we encourage any sense of easiness or well-being that this might bring. And if one of the rivers that runs through starts to become distracting, the fluctuations in the body, the thoughts going off, an emotion flaring up, allow that to happen on a different level, in a different space. Then keep your awareness back with this glowing light in the heart center. And as that light gets stronger and brighter, you can perhaps imagine that it shines directly out through the center of the chest and forms a circle of golden light all the way around you. And this circle of light is sustained by the breath, sustained by your awareness, drawing in the warmth of the sun, filling the heart, and shining that out through the center of the heart, and forming that circle of protective golden light all the way around you. And in this protective space, the heart expands. And in this protective space, I'd like you to bring to mind yourself as a child, a young child. Invite your young child self in and hold that image. We're going to send that young child self loving kindness energy. If at any moment this doesn't feel comfortable, you can come out by opening the eyes. But otherwise, for now, we'll hold that image of the child. And as we draw light in through the head, into the heart, and send it out to the child self, we can use the following words. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be free from fear and suffering. May my heart be filled with joy. May I be at peace. May I be well. Using the breath to send full loving kindness energy to the child self. And imagining that child self receiving the energy, smiling, happy. And if it feels okay to do so, we can allow the child self to stay in our awareness, to stay resting in that glow of loving kindness energy. As we now call in the teenage self or young adult. Take your time. Imagine holding the image of the teenage or young adult self in front of you. And as we breathe in the warmth of the sun and it fills the heart, we can breathe out and shine that energy through the heart space and out to the teenage or young adult self with the same loving kindness words and intention. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be free from fear and suffering. May your heart be filled with joy. May you be at peace. May you be well. And with that field of protective energy circling around you, keeping you grounded, safe, and open, we can perhaps imagine that loving kindness energy flowing from the universe through you to your teenage young adult self. And seeing that teenager relax and smile, resting in the glow of that loving kindness energy. And if it feels okay to do so, we can keep the younger self and the young adult self easily held in that glow of energy as we start to turn our awareness in to the current self as you are in this moment in time. The vast complexities that have brought you to where you are now. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be free from fear and suffering. May my heart be filled with joy. May I be at peace. May I be well. Allowing the energy of loving kindness to flow from the universe and to fill your entire being exactly as you are. And as we sit holding current self, younger self, and child self in that easy, loving energy of the universe, remembering the words of Ikkyu, the 15th century Zen monk and poet. Please, please, don't worry. There is no way for you not to be who you are. and where. Please, please, don't worry. There is no way for you not to be who you are and where. So seeing if that loving kindness energy can bring a sense of acceptance for all that moves through you, for all that has brought you to where you are now, the enormities of a life lived. Holding all of that with a sense of genuine well-wishing. And with a sense of that vastness, the vastness that creates a human being, we can perhaps imagine now that that loving kindness energy shines out to take in all beings everywhere, knowing that all beings carry their own story, their own history of suffering and joy, tragedy and delight, that each being is a universe. And seeing if we can send that same all-encompassing light, just as the sun shines without preference, without discrimination of any kind. Seeing if we can allow that loving kindness energy to travel in the same way, that all beings everywhere may experience ease and true freedom. May all beings everywhere be well. May all beings everywhere be happy. May all beings everywhere be free from fear and suffering. May all beings everywhere have hearts filled with joy. May all beings everywhere be at peace. May all beings everywhere be well. And so in this way we can become a channel and a recipient of loving kindness energy, drawing it in from the universe around us and sending it out wherever it's needed. And if you bring your awareness to child self and young adult self, you can give them a gentle smile, a gentle nod of appreciation for all that flowed through them to bring you to where you are now. Knowing that you can return at any time, you can prepare to let go of that. Let go of the younger selves. Let go of the outside world. And come back very simply to the sitting posture. To that glow of light that surrounds you. To the rise and fall of the breath entering and leaving the body. Drawing that light all the way back into the center of the heart and allowing it to rest there. The seed that you carry with you wherever you are. So becoming aware of the sitting posture, your position in the room, the world around you, and when you're ready, lowering the chin to the chest, blinking the eyes open.